What is happening, guys, and welcome back to the Southwest Coast Path with me, Dan, the content creator behind the platforms Bimbling Books and Beer. But what am I doing out on the Southwest Coast Path? Well, for those of you that have been watching along, you would know that I have set myself the very mediocre challenge of walking the full 630 miles of the Southwest Coast Path, and I'm documenting it here on YouTube for you guys to see, so that you know what it's like to be out here on the trail. If that sounds like a bit of you, don't forget to hit subscribe. I appreciate all the support from everybody whilst I'm walking this myself, but I really want this to be a tool for you guys to be able to access so that you know what it's like to be out here on the trail. So yesterday I walked from St Ives all the way along to Zennor, which is this headland you can see next to me. If you missed that video, I will put a link to it up in the top of this screen so that you can go and check it out. It was phenomenal. Like, honestly, one of the wildest stretches of coastline I've walked so far on this journey. Absolutely epic. So I think you can expect a little bit more of that today. I've literally just come down the valley from Zennor, and excuse me, I'm standing on the opposite side of the valley now. I'll just put a few clips in for you to see what that's like. There's a beautiful, beautiful valley in between Zennor and the next headland along, with this really cool cascading waterfall and a beautiful beach at the bottom. But yeah, I don't really know what this stretch has got in store for me. I've walked pretty much every other stretch of this coast path from St Ives all the way round to Penzance, roughly, which is a long old slog, but I've never actually walked from Zennor along to Pendine Lighthouse. Everything from Pendine Lighthouse on down, I've pretty much walked. So yeah, I don't really know what's in store for us along this stretch, but what I do know from what I've researched is that it's a continuation of what we've already seen. You can expect some breathtaking little coves, some jaw-dropping cliffs, and some more really rugged stretches of coast path that I think are going to test my legs again today. But without further ado, I think I'm going to get going because that sun is beating down on me gloriously. Stunning, right? You can see why the old folk tales for this area might involve a mermaid. So if anyone's remotely interested, legend has it that there was a mermaid at Zennor that used to come ashore, and I don't really know much else about it other than that. There's a mermaid of Zennor, which is where the Moo Maid ice cream of Zennor comes from. But what I will say is the church in Zennor is stunning. It has information about the mermaid of Zennor, and you can go in there and learn a little bit more about it. The whole church is based on that local folklore of there being a mermaid in Zennor. So yeah, if you're remotely interested in that, then you can head up to the church and find out about it, but you can see why a mermaid would love it here. I mean, look at those crystal clear waters. Reminds me of being back over on the Scillies. Oh my goodness. This is absolutely breathtaking. So in the distance behind me is 𝗘𝗽𝗀 Head, which is really incredible. The coast path doesn't actually go out onto the very point of 𝗘𝗀 Head. It kind of cuts across it a little bit, but just looking at 𝗘𝗀 Head from here, it is insane. And this next stretch of coast is even more breathtaking than the stretch before. The water is just gin clear. What I'm going to do in a minute is see if I can get the drone up and get it out there and have a good look around. I'll show you what this coast really looks like from the sky, because that's when you'll see its beauty. Absolutely unreal. absolutely breathtaking. This is about the third stream that I've come across like this, that kind of winds its way down the valley straight into the sea. And what's incredible is that I don't think you can get to the beaches at the bottom of these. So these waterfalls are completely untouched. But I'm really enjoying this stretch. It's definitely a little bit different to 𝗘𝗽𝗶𝘀𝗍𝗃 to Zennor, which, if you're watching this series, I walked yesterday. It's a lot more steady in places, this stretch. There are definitely bits where your legs get a little bit of a rest, but I have just walked from this side, so you can see over there it's pretty severe. But yeah, I'm only a couple of miles down the coast and it already feels like a different stretch. Still wild, still very incredible, but completely different, and that's what I love about the coast path. Just stopped to have a little bit of lunch, and yeah, as always, the lunch spot is absolutely banging again. Check this out. So nice and peaceful. I've put my coat on because the sun is behind me, and although it is glorious, it looks lovely, that wind's still a little bit chilly. Anyway, I'm having a cracking walk. I've just stood speaking to various different groups of people, two groups of people actually. They might watch this video one day. That'd be interesting. If you are watching this video and you did see me walking the Zennor to Bosigran section of my Southwest Coast Path video, then drop me a comment down below and just let me know who you are. And it was really, really lovely speaking to you. As one of the things that I love most about this series is getting out and talking to people. The Southwest Coast Path, well, any trail really, is such a sociable place to be. And I know what you're all thinking, well, Dan, you spent hours walking on your own. You're right, I do. And it's a question that I get asked quite regularly is, do you get lonely when you go out on these really long walks? And the answer to that is no. Not really, because there are plenty of opportunities for me to socialise, and to socialise enough for me. So I am quite happy on my own now. You know, I've been going out on these different adventures for quite a while solo now, and I really like the peace and quiet of being on my own, apart from obviously talking to you guys. But you do every once in a while come across like a couple or another walk or something like that on the trail, and stand and have a chat. And because there is nothing else in this environment to distract you from human interaction apart from the environment, you have the most incredible conversations. So both situations there, the conversation has started by saying how incredible this place is. We've automatically got common ground there because we're in the same location at the same time with nothing else to distract us. You know, and I've just stood speaking to those people about 𝗘𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗃 and what I do and the journey that I've been on. And it's really heart touching when people say, well done, you. To me, I'm just a guy that's out walking and I'm documenting my journey for you guys to see. But I'm kind of in one of those moods at the minute where I'm like, what I do is incredible. Anyway, I have stopped for something to eat. It is 3:15, so this is lunch, but you might be thinking, Dan, it's not the middle of the day. I'm not working on standard timescales here. I've still got another 1.5 miles, 2 miles to go on the coast path, and then I've got a 5-mile walk back across country to my car. I'm probably going to have a pint when I get to Zennor, and then I'm going to go home, and then I'm going to have some dinner. So I'm not going to be eating until later on tonight. But enough waffling. Really important question. I'm crap at taking a packed lunch out with me on the coast path. Usually mine will just be like a chocolate bar and a couple of pepperami, which I have got in my bag today, but I also made a roll. Now this doesn't look very appetizing because it's been squashed in my bag, but we had some sausages left at home today, so I cooked them up before I went, and that's what I've got. But I want to know, what's your favorite trail snack when you go out walking, whether that be on the southwest coast path or anywhere else in the country? What do you take with you, and what do you enjoy to eat? Drop it in the comments down below and let me know. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy this, and then I'm going to sit and read my book for a bit before I get going. Isn't that just stunning? I've just started walking again. I have sat for way too long reading my book again. But then, you know, I've got nowhere to be, so I'm in no rush. There is no reason why I can't just sit there and enjoy a bit of time reading. I've not got long to go on the coast path now. This is behind me, 𝗘𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀 Cove, and this is the 𝗘𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀 Peninsula. So literally just round the headland is going to be the wall of Great Zennor, which, if you're into climbing, is an incredible climbing crag. And then beyond that, Bosigran, which is where I'm going to end today's walk and then make my way back to Zennor. This stretch has been incredible. It feels very different to the stretch from St Ives to Zennor, but you do still get that feeling that you're out in the wild, wild west of Cornwall. The only people you really see are walking the coast path. The buildings are quite a distance away, and I've just sat there in absolute silence, and all you can hear is the sound of the waves and nature. It's just stunning. Anyway, let's get today's walk finished, and I'll show you what this last little stretch has got to offer. Well, there you go, guys. I've made it all the way down to the cliff top fort of Bosigran. It is an absolutely incredible ridge line to see, so one that you should definitely look forward to seeing if you're trying this stretch of the southwest coast path. From here, I can see what my next stretch is going to look like, walking from Bosigran all the way down to 𝗘𝗀𝗀𝗀. That's going to be on another day. And then I've been working it out whilst I've been walking this stretch, and I reckon I can get down to Zennor in another 3 walks. So going from here to 𝗘𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 down to Cape Cornwall, and then Cape Cornwall down to Zennor. They're stretches of the coast path that I've walked before. They are phenomenal. I know them very well, and I think that's definitely achievable for me to do. And this is kind of where I'm at. The next time you see me out on the coast path, whenever that might be, we'll be walking from Bosigran down to 𝗘𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. The weather's forecast to be glorious tomorrow, so if my legs can carry me, I might be walking that stretch tomorrow. But I've covered about 10-15 miles in the last 2 days, and I was out filming the day before that, so who knows. Anyway, I hope this has inspired you to get out on the Southwest Coast Path. If you are enjoying my content and you want more of the Southwest Coast Path to look at, then don't forget to hit subscribe, where I'm hoping to have an extensive library of walks that you can access from the Southwest Coast Path, showing you a bit of insider information of what it's like to be out here on the trail. If you've enjoyed this one, show it a little bit of love, drop it a like, and join me in the next one for some more bimbling books and beer.